Climate. Calamity. The phenomenon we call El Nino. El Nino is a child of the world's greatest ocean. A problem child, throwing climate into crisis. Its power overwhelmed the ancients. Its fury plagues the present. But some believe El Nino's greatest threat is to our future. Scientists learned of the great El Nino, the El Nino of the century, months before it arrived.
Okay, well, we'll do the same on our side of the dividing line, and let's just keep going well. Okay, great.
Early in 1997, sophisticated instruments showed a blob of warm water in the western Pacific. It was moving eastward along the equator, preceded by predictions of doom. Television, newspapers, the World Wide Web, all were abuzz with warnings of storm, flood, fire, drought, famine, disease. El Nino became a water cooler topic, a climate phenomenon turned social phenomenon. In the United States, it was fashionable to blame it on El Nino, irrespective of what it was.
I believe that the 1997-98 El Nino is the El Nino of the users of El Nino information. Aside from good, solid information about El Nino, there were sites El Nino Hype, El Nino No-Show, and things like that. So a lot of spoofing.
As the El Nino ran its course, the jokes fell flat. Charged with the energy of 1 billion Hiroshima bombs, El Nino scrambled weather patterns around the world. It killed an estimated 2,100 people and left at least $33 billion in property damage. Southeast Asia endured months of drought. Forest fires raged in Sumatra, Borneo, Malaysia, and Papua New Guinea. For weeks, much of the Indonesian archipelago was hidden by smoke. There was record flooding on South America's Pacific coast, in Asia's northeast, and in Central Europe. Hundreds died in Peru, Poland, the Czech Republic, and Korea. In the United States, mudslides and flash floods lashed communities from California to Mississippi. Storms pounded the Gulf Coast. Tornadoes ripped Florida. But it could have been worse, much worse. Although an event of greater power, in 97-98, death and destruction was less than for the previous great El Nino, the event of 1982-83. In 97-98, we were forewarned and forearmed by advances in the earth sciences. Disciplines like meteorology and oceanography. Crucial, too, were advances in technology. The deployment of powerful new eyes trained on the equatorial ocean.
The 1982-83 and the 1997-98 El Niños are bookends on a remarkable chapter in the history of climate research. 82-83 was neither predicted nor was it even observed till nearly at its peak. The 97-98 El Nino was tracked daily.
Since the early 80s, we've learned much about the climatic engine which produces El Nino. And we're learning how that engine interacts with the great machine of global climate. The study of El Nino is a step into the future. It's a stride towards meteorology's ultimate goal: accurate predictions of world weather. But there's a second El Nino story, which has emerged only recently. A tantalizing, elusive, sometimes bloodthirsty tale, whose details are obscured by time. It's the story of El Nino's role in some of the significant events of human history. The story of El Nino's past has gripped the imagination of Brian Fagan, professor of anthropology at the University of California, author of the book Flood, Famines, and Emperors. Until recently, scientists studying ancient cultures and those specializing in the tropical Pacific spoke to each other only rarely.